Welcome back, everyone. Today, we're veganizing a classic seafood appetizer. Keep watching to see how we turned mushrooms into vegan fried calamari. Okay, let's get started. First, wash and dry 900 grams of king oyster mushrooms. This is around 3 packages, but it's going to vary depending on the brand you're buying. You can find these mushrooms at your local Asian market. Try to look for ones that are firm and have a wide circumference. This will give your calamari a better look and texture. Next, remove the ends and slice the mushrooms down the stems, creating mini mushroom pucks. Make sure your slices are about a ½ inch thick. If you make them too thin, they might fall apart when you toss them in the seasoning. Plus, thicker slices will have a more calamari-like look. If you like what you're seeing so far, give our video a thumbs up. If you haven't already, subscribe to our channel and follow us on Instagram. We post weekly vegan recipes and we'd love to share them with you. Next, use a sharp circular edge to create holes in the center of your mushroom slices. The hole diameter will depend on the diameter of your slice. For larger slices, create a 3/4 inch hole. For smaller slices, it's going to vary, but make your holes between 1/4 inch to ½ inch. I use the two ends of a round metal piping tip to create the holes, but something like a metal cap from an oil bottle would work as well. Next, place your mushroom rings into a large bowl. Add 1 tablespoon of garlic powder and 1 tablespoon of onion powder. Add in 1/2 teaspoon of cayenne pepper, but if you like your calamari a bit spicier, feel free to use a full teaspoon or 2. Or you can add even more if you love spicy food. Add 1 teaspoon of salt. I put in a bit too much in this video, but if you like your calamari a bit saltier, go for it. Add 2 teaspoons of ground black pepper. I love black pepper, so I used a decent amount, but you can add in a bit less if you want it to be less peppery. Give your calamari a good toss. I used my hands because it was faster, but you can use tongs or chopsticks. Make sure every piece is evenly coated with all the seasonings. You can add more seasonings at this point if you'd like. Let's coat our mushroom rings. Fill a small bowl with about a ½ cup of cornstarch. You'll probably need more, so keep a container of cornstarch nearby. Take the mushroom rings one at a time and coat them in the cornstarch. Shake off any excess and place them into a separate, larger bowl. The cornstarch will really seal in all of our seasonings from earlier. I used cornstarch as opposed to flour because cornstarch gives us a lighter, crispier exterior. It gives us the classic golden color of calamari, and it also absorbs some excess moisture from the mushrooms, which will improve the texture. Fill a pan or wok with around 2 inches of oil for frying. Add a ½ tablespoon of cornstarch to the oil and give it a good stir with some tongs. This is a trick that will prevent splattering when frying. It has definitely saved me from a lot of pain and cleanup. Heat the oil until your thermometer reaches 375 degrees Fahrenheit. I use vegetable oil, but canola or peanut oil will work too. The important part is to use an oil with a high smoke point because we don't want to burn our cornstarch and mushrooms. Carefully place the mushrooms into the pan and make sure to constantly watch the temperature. You need the oil to stay between 360 and 375 degrees. Don't overcrowd the mushrooms, otherwise the temperature will drop too low. This part is essential. If your oil is too cool, the mushrooms will just absorb the liquid and you'll end up with soggy, greasy calamari. Also, make sure that your oil doesn't get too hot or else your calamari will burn. If you don't have one already, I highly recommend getting a kitchen thermometer for frying. Fry the mushrooms until they are a light golden brown and use tongs to occasionally stir them around so they don't meld together. Make sure to also stir the cornstarch at the bottom of the pan. Once your calamari is ready, place them on some paper towels to cool. And that's it for frying. This next part is optional, but I'm going to show you my favorite toppings and condiments to enjoy with calamari. Chop up some parsley leaves. These will give your calamari an extra depth of flavor and also add a pop of color. Next, slice up some lemon wedges. The acid from the lemon juice will cut through the flavors in the calamari. In my totally unbiased opinion, this is what makes calamari so addictive. Ngan is a word in Vietnamese that doesn't have a direct translation to English. It's that tired feeling you get in the middle of a meal when you eat too much of something. So if you want to avoid feeling ngan, squeeze some lemon on top right before eating. And finally, I like to dip my calamari in sweet chili sauce. And that's it. We have our vegan fried calamari using just mushrooms, cornstarch, and a few seasonings. And the texture is so similar to calamari because it has that chewy bite that's characteristic of squid. Next time you can safely have a gathering, make this for your friends or family and see if they can tell the difference. I enjoy coming up with veganized versions of food that I grew up eating because it's so comforting. It's reassuring to know that I don't have to drastically change my lifestyle to be vegan, because vegan food shouldn't be boring.